Hello everybody and welcome back to Basics. So, in this episode I'll show you how not to build a Swedish torch. I always like to experiment when I'm out in the field. So this time I tried to do a little twist on the regular Swedish torch. I didn't have the proper wood type you normally want any pine or wood that has resin in it, any conifer type of wood. I just used what I had. This type of wood that I'm using right now is willow. It's not indicated. So this log is bone dry. I dried it out last night by the fire. And now I'm just going to try to drill a few holes in it to make sort of Swedish torch. Let's say a more fancy Swedish torch. I was hoping for a low flame, a long-lasting low flame. But this type of wood, as I said earlier, is not indicated. Willow is a very hollow type of wood, I would say. It's easy, it's very porous. It's similar to poplar or linden. Linden is also, it's a very light type of wood, and it's not good for fire. It burns with a nice flame, but it burns rapidly and it turns to ashes immediately. So it should have sustained a little bit of flame, but you'll see later why I say this is not the way to do a Swedish torch. So I just started drilling. It took me a while. While I was drilling, I also collected the dust. Let's just see the sawdust, or the shavings that came off, because those are really good to create a fire starter. Use those shavings in a regular tin can with some wax from candle, and you have a really nice fire starter. You can even use it as a stove by itself. That's the hole. So now I'm going to do a side drill for the air intake. I've speeded up this part of the drilling, but this actually took about 40 minutes. So there you go. It was not worth the work. For support, I just nailed in 4 nails. Easy support for a pan, or in my case a cup. A little tweak just to align the nails, make sure they are horizontal. Okay. This was the first test fire. So I've put in some cotton thread, which was waxed. So some waxed cotton threads. They should light up really nicely. I should have put in a few twigs, but at this stage I didn't know how it would end up. So I've just put some shavings, some wood shavings, and those cotton threads. And as you can see, we have smoke, but we don't have fire. Just to light up the gases, I tried just to put a flame inside, hoping that the gases will light up and we'll have a nice flame, but because it has no oxygen, no air, even if I'm blowing on it, there's still no flame. At this point, I've just had it and decided we need to drill a few more holes. So I've drilled an additional 3 holes beside the main hole, just so we can have additional airflow. Because the idea of the Swedish Torch is to have lots of natural airflow. When you split the log, usually into 4 pieces, if you want a bigger flame, you can split it into 6 pieces. And when you join it up, leave some space between the splits and you will have a bigger flame. The key to any natural fire, or natural aspirated fire, is to have lots of oxygen. I will show you this in a camping stove that I've built. It will be in one of my next videos. It's a stove that burns clean with 0 smoke. That one will be a really nice video for the future. Okay, just drill the holes. So you can see there's a lot of work in this build and with no result, I would say. But
let's see how it goes. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Now for the second try. Even when I provide additional air to the flame, it gets sustained as long as I blow onto the log. But afterwards you can see it's only smoke. So the problem to it is lack of oxygen. And also lack of fuel, I discovered.
There we go.
At this point I thought, okay, we have a flame, so it's going to burn. But it wasn't. At one point I just had it and I decided to go and grab a few twigs, put some more fuel into it. Maybe that will maybe that will fix the problem. As you can see, I'm very persistent. Try and try again. It burns a little bit and then it goes off. So we have a good amber inside there. The flame should have sustained itself. At this point I thought maybe there isn't enough fuel because the walls of the log could not sustain the flame. They were just chars, let's say, and like a regular barbecue, chars will not provide also a flame. Because the wind started to catch up a little bit, in this part I had a little bit of flame. But as soon as the wind goes off, the flame will disappear. See? I've switched the direction. The wind was blowing from that direction. It was blowing inside the log. And now as soon as I've switched it, no more air intake, no flame. At this point I started to think maybe the issue was also that we don't have enough fuel. So I went and grabbed a few twigs from the local willow. And after that, well, you'll see the result. As soon as I've put in some additional fuel, you can see there's a lot of smoke. That smoke is unburnt gas. So if we give it some air, there we go. Let's just say it was enough to make a coffee. At this point, because the burn enlarged the hole, we had a little bit of a draft. It was windy that day, and so we sustained the flame as long as the wind was blowing. I've decided to take it on the back side of my camp. You can see there's a real nice amber in there the whole way. So, this is the Swedish torch in which you need to add wood. Really intelligent, I would say. If your Swedish torch don't burn, just add some wood. There we go. Finally. Now we can all enjoy some boiled wieners and a nice cup of coffee. Yes. Just a little more. Those twigs were bone dry, just so you know. So in the end, it does burn nicely, but not for very long. If you find any information useful, just thumbs up and subscribe, guys. It will help me out. See you in the next one.